$5,000. Cash payment to anyone who can prove that what lying son of a devil Farrakhan is preaching is consistent with the lessons, supreme wisdom, of Master Fard Muhammad Elijah Muhammad's representation of his teacher Master Fard's teachings.
Yes, brothers and sisters, that's exactly right. That's been out there for years. No one stepped up yet. They're well aware of it. Out there for years. Years. Check something here first, brothers and sisters. Oh, small technical problem. Just give me a second here. $5,000, brothers and sisters. You say he's representing Elijah Muhammad's teachings. You say Farrakhan's the one. Show me one verse of scripture that proves that. $5,000 is yours. You shut me down. View of me as a fraud. Let's move on, brothers and sisters. One quick change here. This is part 4, I believe, my series. It's going to last the rest of the week. Talked about last week. So it's part 4.
Do you then believe in a part of the book and disbelieve in the other? What then is the reward? $5,000. Do you then believe in a part of the book and disbelieve in the other? What then is the reward of such among you as do this but disgrace in the life of this world, and on the day of resurrection they shall be sent back to the most grievous chastisement? And Allah is not heedless of what you do. 86 These are they who buy the life of this world for the hereafter, so their chastisement shall not be lightened, nor shall they be helped.
As these fellows fuel for the fire, and all those other ones with Farrakhan, demons and traitors. Fuel for the fire. We're either inspired by the fire, or you fuel for the fire. So that's the way it's going to boil down, brothers. It's going to break down. The judgment is in process now. The judge is on the scene. Who's the judge? The Master of the Covenant. He's been judged in America. Who's going to carry out the sentence? Master Muhammad's going to carry out part of the sentence, and you're going to carry out part of the sentence. But you're going to take the consequence side of it. Do what them devil had done to you. So you're going to carry out that part of the sentence. Okay? Soon.
Section 1, Fundamental Principles of Islam. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. 1. I, Allah, am the best knower. 2. This book, there is no doubt in it, is a guide to those who keep their duty. 3. Who believe in the unseen and keep up prayer and spend out of what we have given them. For and who believe in that which has been revealed to thee and that which was revealed before thee, and of the hereafter they are sure.
That's perfectly clear, brothers and sisters. You got to believe in the Quran, to thee, and that before thee, and the Bible also. All of it. Well, we got bad translations, but the manuscripts are there. You go back, check against the manuscripts. Let's move on, brothers and sisters.
$174. Those who conceal aught of the book that Allah has revealed and take for it a small price, they eat nothing but fire into their bellies, and Allah will not speak to them on the day of resurrection, nor will he purify them, and for them is a painful chastisement. 175 Those are they who by error for guidance and chastisement for forgiveness, how bold they are to challenge the fire. 176 That is because Allah has revealed the book with truth. And surely those who disagree about the book go far in opposition.
Brothers and sisters, right? They hide the truth. They never tell you about the messenger of the covenant, never mention it. It's right there next to Elijah, the messenger. They never tell you about returning home to Arabia. It's right there with the Abrahamic covenant. Right there with the vision. Be strange in the land is not there, not ours. And God made a covenant, Abraham, that after that 40 years, return home to Arabia. Specifically, right? Between the Great River Euphrates and the River Egypt, that's Arabia. Look on the map. Farrakhan doesn't talk about those things. In fact, he goes further than that. He calling God a liar because the covenant, that's surety. I mean, that's God's word. Right? You know, Miss Yusuf Shaw used to say, when somebody give you a promise, watch out. He said, because it's in the word. Promise, miss. That was one of his little jokes. Move on, brothers and sisters.
I gotta do this. Do you mind? Yes, I'm gonna do something. I don't want to put my brother on the spot. See, this is this. This is something else. Love and faith transcends color. And the reason why we embrace Father Pfleger as a brother is because we find him on the battlefield of justice, being a true disciple of Jesus. And the last thing I'll say is, you'll never call us racist.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Because this day that we honor,
Yes, sir.
Master Fard Muhammad, if you see an image of him, put his image up.
Yes, sir.
That's the man whose father was a black man and his mother a Caucasian. And how many of us have a parent that's a Caucasian or grandparent? It's not about color. It's about our submission to the will of God. And in that we find common ground and unity. So I'm only one shade lighter than you, so. And Mustafa may be 4 more shades lighter. We a family.
Yes, sir.
Let's stay a family and be a family and love each other as God would have us to love each other. We love you, Father. Happy Savior's Day. Thank you. I had to do that. We love you.
One more time, brother.
That has absolutely nothing to do with Elijah Muhammad. Prove it. The lessons say they're 100% wicked, not 99.9 is a fresh. 100% wicked. And it's God's will to take them off the planet. Remember they've been talking about the will for the last 3 weeks? The will, God's will, God's will. It had nothing to do with Elijah. If Elijah was there, he would cut his throat. I guarantee you that. And that would be being kind to him. Death season. We're going to talk about brothers and sisters. You know, every session I've had, I've tried to reveal something I hadn't revealed before. Hidden truth. Right? Or that I hadn't really elaborated on before. So I made it very clear. Farrakhan's a beast. He's not human. And we can prove it. Scriptures make it very clear. About C-bomb. You didn't know you had such a powerful weapon. So every time and then about, well, some of these things I've talked about to certain people in the past. Right? And I talk about in general. I talk about, right, what happens when you regenerate. Because Muhammad didn't say death was final. He said no one comes back up out of the grave. You don't want to assume death was final. It's not final. Scripture says Abraham, he'll be elevated in the hereafter. But if he's deaf, how could that be? He said, well, it's about, well, whatever. But I explained to you, take 4 birds and teach them to climb to you. I explained that. Right? That's what it's talking about. You get 2 sets of chromosomes, 2 from your mother, 2 from your father. That's the 4 birds. Anyway, move on. But now I'm going to talk about something else. So I'm going to play a few things first, right? But this is a weapon that you don't know about. And they didn't know I knew about it. What no one's talked about. The weapon they use on you right now. I tell you about electricity. That's one. Pressure. How you use, this is another one. Powerful weapon. Usually, it's your weapon, but they use it against you because you don't know it's your weapon. So you got to get your own mind back, because right now, you're beating yourself. If you're beating yourself, right? That means your own strength is beating you. So if you turn that strength to your enemy, see what I'm saying? So right now, they're using your own strength against you. They're using C-bomb against you. That's what got Farrakhan there. Right? Oh, no. They ain't the devil. You the problem. Well, I'm going to show you another aspect of it. We're going to get to it in a minute. Just hold on if you can. Death season. I'll play a few recorded processes. It's going to be a few minutes before I get to it.
3. I have trodden the winepress alone, and of the people there was none with me, for I will tread them in mine anger, and trample them in my fury, and their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments, and I will stain all my raiment. For the day of vengeance is in mine heart, and the year of my redeemed is come. 5. And I looked, and there was none to help, and I wondered that there was none to uphold, therefore mine own arm brought salvation unto me, and my fury, it upheld me. 6. And I will tread down the people in mine anger, and make them drunk in my fury, and I will bring down their strength to the earth.
I believe that America can be beautiful. How can America be made beautiful? Now, family, listen. My brother Imam Warakuddin and I have had disagreement, but his followers and mine have never given each other as much as a bloody nose. Because in spite of our differences, there's a deep love in us. We don't like the things about our nation that is not good, but I don't want to live anywhere else. I want America to be made right. I don't want to see America go the way of Rome and Babylon and Sodom and Gomorrah. But why won't she go that way? If the men of religion and the women of religion keep silent.
6. I will send him against an hypocritical nation, and against the people of my wrath will I give him a charge, to take the spoil, and to take the prey, and to tread them down like the mire of the streets. 7. Howbeit he meaneth not so, neither doth his heart think so, but it is in his heart to destroy and cut off nations not a few. 8. For he saith, Are not my princes altogether kings?
Okay, brothers and sisters. Now, see, those that you heard Farrakhan previous to him after, but the scripture, that's the Messiah talking. That's Messiah talking there. Son of man. See? He says, he's not, it's not in his heart to do wickedness, but it's his heart to do justice to the wicked. You gotta be careful to understand those things. Because it says, like, say, well, it's not hard to do it, but it's hard to do it. No. He's not a person that's out to look to not make mischief shed blood. But he's out for justice, though. See? And in both cases, and even here, right? And wherever you look, when you see the Messiah talking, even to God, wrath, destruction, judgment, it says, at the end of 400 years, he said, I will come and judge that nation. I'm not coming to heal the nation, I'm coming to judge it. They did all those things. But Farrakhan claims he's the Messiah. But what happened? Is he got Alzheimer's or what? Why is he talking so different? Because does he have the same spirit as those? And according to him, that Son of Man, Messiah, he had the same spirit as God. So, and he's him and God are one, right? He says, my Father, we're one. We're the same spirit. No, not my will, but thy will be done. But Farrakhan said, no, my will. I want to stay here. We ain't going nowhere. I want to see America healed. That's totally against the spirit right there. See, brothers and sisters, that's why the chastisement be so severe. Because you're gonna implement some of the chastisement yourself. Because you're gonna be so angry. I mean, that's gonna be the temperature in a few more days. You're gonna be so angry. Right? Why are you gonna be angry? Well, the God's angry. He's gonna be angry. The Lamb's gonna be angry. Why are they angry? Because it's time of consequence. They've been holding it back. And the thing is that who's going to make it? Who's going to kindle anger? It's there, but who's going to kindle it? Who's going to ignite it? Put it that way. Who's going to ignite? Because they've been killing it, right, for 400 years. Who's going to ignite it? They are when they attack us. Because their attack can be so ferocious, so evil, so wicked. When they attack us, so wicked, because they can remind us of who they are and what they've been. See, some of you, you went to sleep and you're docile, and and so, you don't have any idea what happened in the past. Don't even care. We're going to talk about that in a minute too. Right? Their attacks will remind you, brothers and sisters. They're going to wake you up. That's why we're coming together, not as a chorus, not as a team, but as a truly great army. Because all that's going to come. All that memory is going to flood right into your brain, right in your front of your face. You're going to see it. See? And another thing's about to happen. Said everything they hide is gonna be shot from the rooftops. They hide all these things. All it's gonna be, hey, somebody's gonna expose it all. They lose control. And one way you know you lose control, when you lose control of information. See, because you can go out there, you know, so you can deceive. See, people. I used to tell my children, right? I said people usually look at you based on what you tell them about yourself, how you act, right? Or what you say. Because if you're going to tell people, a lot of people just what you say. You're going to tell somebody, man, hey, man, I'm going to karate class, man. I'm 50-degree black belt. Now, you don't know anything about karate. You probably never went to school, but you put it out there. Everybody's going to be very scared to mess with you. You know what I'm saying? So words matter. You can lie. But people think of you based on what they see and what you tell them about yourself. At any rate, Farrakhan is not consistent with that. So, like I said, we're not looking for those people that got to hit up Farrakhan's ass and they trying to stuff his honey. We're not interested. We're not trying to pull it out. Try to get it to over. You understand, bro? Says we're not. That's not the mission here. The mission is to separate the chaff from the wheat. Right? Get the wheat out of here and burn the chaff up. That's what it says. So they come, you're going to separate the chaff from the wheat and throw the chaff into the fire. That's the mission right now. And it's happening before your eyes because you see a separation is gradually taking place, but about to hit steroids in a minute. Because the two mindsets are becoming clearer and clearer and clearer. Becoming clearer for the last 150 years, right? Becoming two mindsets. See? Because we was forced together. Right? And we're going to talk about that in a minute. So they're not converging, they're diverging. And the value will be stark in a minute. And so right here, well, I'm not going to talk about this. Let's talk about David. But then let's show you that David is matched for Muhammad. But move on, brothers. I'm going to get to my main points here. Here it says, behold, I was sent a messenger. But they never talk about the messenger of the covenant. Remember it says the high part of the book? Never mention the messenger of the covenant. Right there, it's right there. Elijah, and suddenly he will come to Elijah's temple. And that's the one you're supposed to be seeking. Right? The one you delight in. So, why they never talk about it? So why they hide it? And who they hiding it from? They're hiding from the seekers, because seekers, right? They ain't look for Farrakhan. They got him. They're seeking something else. The Lord who you seek. So somebody, they're looking forward to something, right? And somebody's trying to keep them from seeing it. That's when they delight in. They will delight in, right? But any Farrakhan, so somebody's keeping them from seeing it. And that's a big topic. Maybe I just dedicate one day to that. But that's a big topic, brothers and sisters. I talk about trying to connect the dots, about this thing about Jesus in the midst of the covenant and Joshua. That's some powerful stuff, brothers and sisters. You don't know how powerful it is. Because those who've been hearing it, they know they haven't seen anything like that. Not close. As long as, I don't care how old they are. And yet still, it's absolute proof. Joshua. The fact that Jesus is not in the Bible anywhere. I was at Jim, I told us about that. Hey, man. I said, I give $1,000. Hey, you give me $1,000. And he went to the Bible, went to Google, and she got a picture in the Bible. See, I said, wait a minute, you didn't hear what I said. It's not in it, and it's not in the manuscripts anywhere. Oh, right, give me $1,000. Yeah, well, the manuscript show me it's in there. I'm gonna move on, brothers and sisters. It's one thing I talk about. So when I can finish this series, a whole amount of points I never told you about, I'm going to talk about today. About this one. And you might be amazed. I'm going to tell you today. This is a secret weapon they have. They're actually using. Nobody's supposed to know about it. And I'm going to turn on full blast in a minute. You see? I thought I had voice on this one. Anyway, they read this part right here, right? It says, you'll see Abram. Why is it Abram? Why is the only place in the Bible is they call Abram without the Ham part? Because Ham was the one that was the lost seed. But Ham would be the one that would be a slave. That they would persecute and everything and say he was born to be a slave. That's why. But see, you missed that one. Because nobody can explain to you. Why God called Abram here? He called Abraham every place else. And then you got this priest called Ham is supposed to be the seed that got cursed and enslaved forever. But they tell you the people that call him Ham is his real seed. People that call him Ham is his real seed. That's the wisdom of it. But right, that's why I did it. But they do so many things here. You had the brains to handle this. You just don't have the right mind. Because what's being fed to you is like, you got an excellent body. The only food that you can eat is pork. What if you're in a place the only food they got is pork? How do you have a nice body? You got a great body, but all you eat is pork. That's me here in America. Only information you get is shit, bullshit, lies. And that's what you're feeding off of. There's Master Muhammad came and tried to change that menu. Elijah changed the menu. Pharaoh come and restore the old menu. Wallace was telling people that it was okay to eat pork. Said the reason why the Quran said don't eat pork because back then they didn't have the means to kill that trichinosis worm, what do they call it? I guess you put it in a microwave now. Yeah, he said God was there. I was even between 7 and 75. I ain't saying Pharaoh gonna tell you pork. I'm just saying. You're feeding your garbage like they are. All this philosophy shit. Like I just told you. That's the spirit of the Son of Man. I showed you those quotes here. God said just opposite. He's speaking up for America. He wants to save America. After all the shit America did to us 40 years, and he said, just forgive him? And you believe that shit? And I'll tell you something. All that shit always, hey man, I had your mama down in my basement for 5 years, man. I was raping her, beating her. Right? All kinds of stuff. Man, I put all stuff in her mouth, all kinds of stuff, right? And then you say, that's all right, man, let's be friends. I know you can do better. I know you're a better person than that. What? That's how far I've come across. God damn them. They don't get a fucking away from what they did to us for 500 years. The scripture say, God come and why he gonna judge them? He come and say, I'm gonna come and forgive them. I'm gonna kick their ass and come and judge them and burn their ass up. He said, do unto them as they done to you. So that's not passing roses. That's a command, Farrakhan. But I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that to them. I don't want to see it happen to them. It said, do back them as they done to you. That's judgment. That means hell. It's not a suggest a command. Do unto them double it done to you. Then comes wrath, anger. Kick ass. Well, no, I don't want to do that. I don't see nothing happen to them. They're telling God, fuck you. I ain't going to do that to them. I want to save them. Don't, God, please, please don't do it. Don't beat them up. Give them a chance. Let's see if we can work it out for them. Don't tell you something? Because the fact don't tell you anything, show you that you're the chaff. You're the wheat. Because that's the exact spirit you would have. Because you want to save daddy. You want to save master. Because you master's children. Remember the movie Django? Spirit was Kevin, what his name was? Stephen or whatever? See the spirit he had? Did he have the spirit of the original person? He had the spirit of black. He had the spirit of the devils. And so do you. That's why you don't recognize any of this. And when you listen, brothers and sisters, the reason why he points down, because they're trying to tell you, they're trying to tell you how to recognize. They tell the characteristics of these people so you recognize them. In your daily dealings with them. Right here. If the Lord made a covenant, not a promise. I think I'll think about it. A covenant. Look at what a covenant is. It's a firm commitment. Motto. The word. The word is bond, and bond is life. That's what Muhammad said. So it's a surety, ain't no doubt about it. Right? But Farrakhan said, we ain't going nowhere. So he called God a liar. Because he said, he told Abraham that. Farrakhan said, we ain't going nowhere. So he called God an outright liar. And he don't even speak to this right. So there he covered up part of the book. And then he called God a right liar. Because he said, until I see I've given the land from the river Euphrates, river Egypt, unto the great river, the river Euphrates. Look on the map, that's Arabia. Right. So, that right there, I had you run for cover if you was for real. And the fact that you stay there shows that, hey, leave him alone. Because we don't have to worry about that one because he's already over there. See, when you start separating things, then stuff's already separated. You want to make sure it stays separated, right? So if you separate, then you put this in another bucket. You don't just lay it out because we might blow it back in there. So you put it over there, you make sure it's still over there because you don't. What's the point of going to work to separate if you're going to put it back in? We ain't here to save nobody. Get our people home. Okay, Death Note. I'm gonna get to it, bro. I'm gonna warm you up a little bit before we get to it. So hold on. Let's see what we got here. Okay, I'll play a few things here. Get you warmed up, brothers and sisters. Right? Throw you out a little bit. So watch these.
I gotta do this. Do you mind? Yes, I'm gonna do something. I don't want to put my brother on the spot. See, this is this. This is something else. Love and faith transcends color. And the reason why we embrace Father Pfleger as a brother is because we find him on the battlefield of justice, being a true disciple of Jesus. And the last thing I'll say is you'll never call us racist.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Because this day that we honor
Yes, sir.
Master Fard Muhammad, if you see an image of him, put his image up.
Yes, sir.
That's the man whose father was a black man and his mother a Caucasian. And how many of us have a parent that's a Caucasian or grandparent? It's not about color. It's about our submission to the will of God. And in that we find common ground and unity.
Yes, sir.
So I'm only one shade lighter than you, so. And Mustafa may be 4 more shades lighter. We a family.
Yes, sir.
Let's stay a family and be a family and love each other as God would have us to love each other. We love you, Father. Happy Savior's Day. Thank you. I had to do that. We love you.
One more time, brother.
Yeah, Master Muhammad has nothing to do with that shit. Nothing. And that laughter is going to turn to weeping and gnashing of teeth in a minute. Oh, and will they be weeping? But nobody's going to hear them. At least nobody's going to react in their favor. Okay? All this be played back to them. Nothing to do with match from whatsoever. See, Spirit of Messiah, see what's got here.
I believe that America can be beautiful. How can America be made beautiful? Now, family, listen. My brother Imam Wadafuddin and I have had disagreement, but his followers and mine have never given each other as much as a bloody nose. Because in spite of our differences, there's a deep love in us. We don't like the things about our nation that is not good, but I don't want to live anywhere else. I want America to be made right. I don't want to see America go the way of Rome and Babylon and Sodom and Gomorrah. But why won't she go that way? If the men of religion and the women of religion keep silent.
The bullshit, brothers and sisters. Tell you. He wants to plead for America. Okay? Right here, this is the lesson. Let's say Master Farad says it's impossible to reform the devil. Impossible. So he wants to reform him. That's what he's. Remember, this is the lesson now. He claims he's representing Master Farad Muhammad. They are 100% evil. That's what the lesson says. 100% evil. Wicked. Right? And he came to take them off the planet. What Farrakhan said, love America, want to stay here, want to make white folks good, don't want America to be destroyed, I want to forgive America. That's not the spirit that you get. You'll find that spirit, you don't find that spirit in there anywhere in the Bible, no. I don't care who, what prophet, whatever you're talking about, you won't find that spirit, so where do they get that from? Come on, brothers and sisters.
49. I am come to send fire on the earth, and what will I, if it be already kindled? 50. But I have a baptism to be baptized with, and how am I straitened till it be accomplished? 51. Suppose ye that I am come to give peace on earth? I tell you, nay, but rather division. 52. For from henceforth there shall be 5 in one house divided, 3 against 2, and 2 against 3. 53. The father shall be divided against the son, and the son against the father, the mother against the daughter, and the daughter against the mother-in-law against her daughter-in-law, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law.
It's his spirit he comes with, he says, how come it bring fire? Not Valentine cards. I got a whole different. And he's not talking about family members here, but he's talking about nations, but you need to have educated to get that. So let's go on. Mm-hmm. Now remember, this is how you feel about the devils. Here's how you feel his reaction towards the devils, right? How to deal with them. But look how he wants to deal with you. This is how he wants to deal with you, brothers and sisters. Watch this. He has smiles and everything for, oh, how can we make America great? How can we save it? How can we? When Matt Farmer says impossible, I guess he knows best, right? Okay, let's look at this.
When the Muslims were alive, I'll say it again. When the Muslims were alive, you dead as hell now on both sides.
Yes, sir, brother Minnie. Yes, we are. Yes, sir. That's real, brother Minnie.
Wake us up, dear Apostle.
When we was alive, we set up schools.
That's right.
When we were alive, we had supermarkets.
That's right.
We owned buildings. We owned farmland. We were busy doing something, hiring our people. Well, I'm telling the Muslims, damn it, if you don't come alive, you will die like you are. And I will say, thank you, Allah, because if they're not doing nothing on top of the earth, let the worms eat their ass.
Whoa! He wants the worms. He invoke Allah's name. He wants the worms to eat your ass. What you do to him? Oh, because you didn't produce enough steaks for him. You didn't make enough money for him. He neglected the fact that him and Wallace, that he was worshiping a few minutes ago. See, Wallace hated his father. Everybody knew that. He did openly. I met Wallace. I was there from 1775. I shook his hand one time. I ain't been able to clear his hand clean since then. Hey, whoo. It's my hand. I love it. Right? So I can't blame it. You okay? I still love you. Right? Oh, that's the wrong hand. That's right hand. Anyway. He hated his father. He was officially banned from the nation when Elijah Muhammad departs. How do you get control of it? That's a long story altogether. They try to make, probably trying to make like, oh, no, he wasn't with Elijah. He was cast out. We got him on tape saying it. He was cast out. He couldn't even be around his own family, mother, anybody. So how was he standing with Elijah? That's the lesson on Farrakhan's lies. They got rid of everything. Right? We had a bank. My car was financed through the bank. Had an own printing press, so large, as big as a building. Right? 2-story press. I was a night foreman on that. 3 shifts. You know, synagogue Satan prints there. Final call. Hope you know that. We print our own paper. I was in the Nation Complex. Had a beautiful apartment right across from that school up there on, I think, 87th Street. Shop, everything, the whole 9 yards. I had very little contact with those, very little, hardly any. And they got rid of all that. They took the money and left us with nothing. You know, Elijah Muhammad inspired the brothers and sisters. You know, sisters, they didn't put sisters on the street to make, Farrakhan had sisters on the street doing fundraisers. Because they can't get them brothers do anything. We had to sell 300 papers a week with Elijah. Brothers, not the sisters. He didn't put sisters on the street, anything like that. Farrakhan does. Right? So we worked hard. Sisters supported the brothers, took care of the family. So she was just as much involved, right, as the brothers. So we built all that, put our hard work in. They got rid of it, like it was nothing. And they got rid of the name, got rid of Nation Islam. So I think of Bilalians with Wallace still had control of until he departed. He died from diabetes. I guess he should have read How to Live. But he's open enemy to his father. He destroyed everything. Like I said, they took and liquidated everything, took the money. They never repented, never come back and say, I'm sorry, and get the money back to the believers. He still got it. He's a multimillionaire. You see what he got for you? Oh, God, I'll pay a lot. Angel, eat your ass. But for the devil, I want to see nothing happen to him. How can we make America beautiful? They don't do anything for you? If it don't, that means you got your head so firmly up his ass you can't even get out anymore. In fact, you can't tell the difference between you and him. You think that's natural state. Right? One body, head up ass. Because they don't do anything for you. That's what he did. It's better than anything still out there for a while it's gone, but they still follow him. That's what he said. His followers, remember, his followers and Elijah's followers, his followers and Wallace's followers. Hope you want to eat your ass. Invoke Allah's name. Because you ain't producing anything when he destroyed to begin with. He the one destroyed all that. Made money off it. Now you ain't producing enough steaks for him, so it works. Eat your ass. And he, see how mean he look? Lips all curled up and everything else. But for the devils, oh, I don't want to see nothing happen to the master. I don't see nothing happen to master. How can a master treat us good? How can a master be good? I want to stay here with master. Sharecropper, right? I don't want to leave master. I want to stay with master. I don't want to be anyplace else. I want to stay here. I love master. I love eating master shit, boy. Master shit tastes good to me. But you, boy, we're eat your goddamn ass. Go good niggas.
When the Muslims were alive, I'll say it again. When the Muslims were alive, you dead as hell now on both sides.
Yes, sir, brother Minister. Yes, we are. Yes, sir. That's real, brother Minister. Both sides.
Wake us up, dear Apostle.
When we was alive, we set up schools.
That's right.
When we were alive, we had supermarkets.
That's right.
We owned buildings. We owned farmland. We were busy doing something, hiring our people. Well, I'm telling the Muslims, damn it, if you don't come alive, you will die like you are. And I will say, thank you, Allah, because if they're not doing nothing on top of the earth, let the worms eat their ass.
A moment of clarity. Matt, help Matt, don't hurt Master. Please don't hurt Master. Remember that guy in Django? Don't hurt Master. Oh, Master, you hurt Master. We hurt. Don't hurt. But the other black folks, right? Put him back in the field. What are you doing over there, man? You on that nigga, you on that horse? I heard a nigga on a horse. Remember that Django movie? It came to Master. Oh, Master got hurt. Come on, brothers and sisters. Okay, I'll pass this up, brothers and sisters, on the previous presentation because I want to get to my main point. This way, Elijah Muhammad calls Farrakhan a fool. He said, you'd be a fool to want to stay here and land your imprisonment. He said, ancestors would judge, rise up you in judgment, call you fool. That's what he says, but it's a rather lengthy one, and my previous presentation, if you look at them, it's there. I could do it today because I want to get to my primary. Oh no. Okay, now he says he's with Master Muhammad. Elijah Muhammad said Master Muhammad is God. No doubt about it, right? Okay, so let's look at this quickly. He said you can't worship Master because he made a flesh, but Elijah Muhammad's teachings.
so long till they don't know the birth record. So they just say from remotest antiquity, this is the house that God used to manifest his wisdom, knowledge, understanding, and power in and through. Where is he now? Wherever he want to be. I'm not going to say I know where he is, but I'm glad his power is everywhere. I think I know where he is. I don't want to say because I could be wrong, but he's wherever he wishes to be. Are we to pray and worship Master Farad Muhammad? You don't worship the flesh of any man, because the flesh is going to die. But in that flesh is a wisdom and a power superior to any human being on the earth. So when we look to Allah in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, we look to him. And when he ain't no longer here, the power is going to be here. Honorable Elijah Muhammad said he would live a minimum of 400 years, but 400 years ain't no time. He'll be gone. But before he goes, the foundation of what he lays will never be erased from the planet. That's a God. He prays. He prays. He don't pray to himself. You don't say, surely I have turned myself to me.
Beloved brothers and sisters, one of the greatest practices in all the religions is prayer. The form and style of prayer varies from faith to faith, but prayer is universal. There is no religious community that does not pray. No prophet of God that did not pray. Abraham prayed, Noah prayed, Moses prayed, David prayed, Joseph prayed, Jesus prayed, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, prayed. Master Farad Muhammad prays.
Again, look at Elijah Muhammad's teachings. God's a man, can't be anything other than a man, period. No spooks, no spirit, but he's telling you you can't pray this. So if Master Muhammad's praying, he's not praying to something that's flesh. I said, you guys, those people got to hear the Farrakhan's ass, they can't hear anything. Because how you can't hear that? He's telling you that God is a spook. Because you can't pray to flesh. And so, but these flesh people, Master Muhammad, praise, but he can't be playing somebody's flesh. And we can't pray to him because they're flesh. So we probably playing something. Because he know his audience. If people got their head up his ass, if they have their head up theirs, he got them convinced that shit is honey. So hey, he can tell them anything. If they believe shit is honey, well, there are no limits. Chitlins and chitlins, they got to believe in that. That chitlins is soul food. But chitlins, I'm saying, it's the same damn thing. That's why I put a C there. That's what he's doing. See, because he's telling you that God is spirit of spook. Because they're praying something that's not flesh. And that goes totally against Elijah Muhammad. Totally. If nothing else but still, they're still with him. So stay over there. See, because you understand the separation process? I mean, it's working. Farrakhan's doing his job. Because it's going to be easy. Because that's one of my main jobs, is separate that chaff from the wheat. He make it easy for me. Because they're going to run it too late, man. Because if you believe in that shit, in the world, you out. Let's move on. Spirit of Messiah. Now I'm getting my soap buses, but let's play a few things first. I really want to warm you up for this one. Oh, it's a different order. Okay. We go with this. Now, what I'm going to talk, hold it, let's move on. Different note. Now I'm going to bring out the point about music. Right? Now, if you Google, and like I did, say what's the most popular music on the planet today, the only music actually, it's coming from us. Right? So let me give you a brief, because I've talked about this in detail. But you got 4 types of music that you're aware of. Somebody say reggae. Reggae came out of jazz. Right? Scott Joplin. Oh, my memory is good today. Wow. Must be getting that energy burst. I remember everything, boy. Anyway, blues, jazz, soul, or Motown, whatever you call it. And when did that came about? Well, that's us. You know the other music form on the planet now? They talking about country music. They got that from blues, and I mean that's what Elvis said. He got his stuff from Chuck Berry, I think it was. Right? And it's a mixture of blues and jazz. Mix it up, still the same thing, right? Just so, but you notice, okay, when did it, we'll get to the chase. When did blues come out? Go check it. 1860s. What? We had the blues. What we know what to do is we broke the chains. There's no chain gang. We had no jobs. We work with massa. We run the seas. We have anything. Had no knowledge. It's turned loose. We had nothing. We had the blues. What are we going to do? 50 years later, right? That's when jazz came along. Probably 50 years later. How's that? That came from us also. Started getting jazzy. Because we was niggas when the blues came out, 1960s, but in the 1920s, right? We was colored people then. We had 2. Now, let me cut to the chase here. We got, when they say black, they're covering 2 groups. They come out basic skin color. Loosely, because, I mean, you can still be, anyway, just keep it simple. But you got slave masters' children, and you got the original children. So they're skin folk. But they look like us, but had, wool sheep clothing, but had the nature of daddies. So that's why we had the blues, and you had 2 types of I'm gonna say ideologies, frame of reference, right? 2 mindsets, well, not mindsets because they had cooked our mind, right? 2 perspectives. I put that away. And so the ones who want to stay with massa, they sharecroppers. They want to try to get away far as from massa. They ran to cities, right? That's right. That's happened back there, right? Then 50 years later, it's still now the sharecroppers, right? They're still getting further. We're diverging, right? Diverging. Converging is coming together. Diverging. So we're getting further and further apart. Because then you got Eurocentric people like under by Du Bois, right? Then you got the Afrocentric with Marcus Garvey, Drew Ali, so forth, so on. And jazz. We start feeling jazzy. Let's call people then. Is that a coincidence? And then probably 50 years later, again, 1960s, 1970s. So, and further apart, you had people want to integrate and separate. See? Because you got 2 different mindset. Well, you got 2 different natures, right? But 2 different perspectives, 2 different orientations. Because one want to be closer to master, each one getting closer to master, and one trying to get away from master. Right? So one's getting with Elijah, you see, one getting with Malcolm, Martin Luther. You see the difference? It's getting further and further apart. Okay? They move down the suburbs. We stand in right? In the hood. Right? They got suburbs with devils. You see? They went closer to master. And then now we're 50 years later again. So something's about to happen. Because when 50 years, right, we got inspired. We went from jazz, went from black niggers to colored people to black. Say I'm loud, I'm black and I'm proud. Afros. You see? Because you can be more energized now. We're getting back to ourselves, getting closer and closer to it. So something's about to happen now. That's what I want to get to in a minute. That's about to happen right now because we're writing on 50th. So we're going to new music. I don't know what the name of it is, but it'll be Victorious music. And it's going to be a total separation at that time. Total separation. Because that time we separated. But now we actually going to leave. We get the hell out of here. That's according to Abraham Covenant. And demons going to stay here and fight for this country. There'll be two armies. They're going to unite. Demons going to unite and the saints going to unite. One going to have one perspective and have another perspective. And the music will be a more dramatic music. Because when you read Exodus, it says there was a music playing. Why would they say that? They said when he came and separated us, there was music. It wasn't the sound of music, but it wasn't the sound of victory or defeat. So the music was going on. So what kind of music was that? See, they throw those things in there, but most people, nobody pays attention to them, I don't think. Keep that in mind, brothers and sisters. So here again, right? Not sure that way, but if it is, and music's atmosphere, right? It's manipulating the atmosphere. And whose music is dominating the planet? Ours. That means we control the atmosphere on that level. But the atmosphere is also weather. We control the weather too. But see, even now, we control the atmosphere and music, but we don't have full control of it because they put the lyrics in, and I'm going to talk to you something about that in a minute, right? Like I remember when they first, like hip-hop and that first came out, that came out of Motown, right? Like you had people like Sister Soldier and Tupac, what that bitch hole nigga stuff in there. That's all you know. Because they're trying to, they use it against you. They're using that music. Because remember, thing is, okay, you can hear the sister, and she got it, she's feeling it, man. Wow, right. And then you listen to the lyrics. Goddamn stinking hoe, man. I'm gonna show her the dough and I'll kick over the dumb right in the beat, you know. That's the lyrics. But she liked the music. And she ain't paying attention to the lyrics, but her brain's paying attention to it. It's coming into her brain. Then she wonders why I showed her a job, and she be blurt out, damn nigga, bitch hoe. Where that come from? You understand, brothers and sisters? So they're using that against you too. They use everything against us. I'm going to show you even more in a way in a few minutes. Use even more against us. They're putting the lyrics in there, so that's how because they know we wouldn't accept this, we wouldn't listen to that crap if they just told us. Right? You know, it's like slipping it's like cooking a beautiful steak in lard. Man, you ain't paying attention to lard. That's hog, ain't it? Right? You know, there was a thing back, I can't remember. I say stop doing it. But back there, about 20 years ago, I guess there's a thing called liquid protein. Look it up, liquid protein. That was the thing right there, man. Liquid protein, right, man. I was going to like steroids or something, right? But really, boom. It was popular. Right? And it was killing people, especially black people. I guess they put off the market or something. Turns out, right? Liquid protein, what it was the same thing like you take a pig and juice it. And people that was Muslim was drinking that stuff, didn't know it was hog. It was like drinking liquid hog. Anyway, these devils will work. I know we bought some submarine bread. Where she went, my friend looking at it, right? See, and, okay, I have no problem with that, right? But I ain't as holy as she is, right? Because I know, look, we over here in a lake of shit. And nothing we eat over here is going to be good. None of it is pure. So if you think that is, you better get out of that quick. We got to get the hell out of here. Because you don't know they cook that stuff in. They tell you. I remember when they had me in jail in Guam. And I wouldn't eat. They tried to force me eat. I was doing a long fast, but that's part of my defense, right? And so they tell me, I wouldn't tell them what I was doing, right? You know, their damn business. I said, man, I can't eat pork. But they washing the pots out. Them just wash out. Yeah, I don't want you got pork in it. But when you go to restaurants like this, you think you go into restaurants. I don't care what kind of restaurant you think everything's cool in there. If you don't go to restaurants, you buy student in the store. You think it's cool, all of it. Because I've been at his brother when he's. I don't want to put. I ain't telling you to be relaxed. I'm not telling you that. I'm just telling you, we're in a lake of shit over here. And if you start thinking that you ain't, that you more into it than you think you are. I remember this brother. He was when the mess was around. He was so holy, boy. He was going to be so holy. And the way he always talked, like he was so holy, he was going to, you know. So I waited on him. And so one day, you know, we're all talking and stuff. I said, brother, you got a wallet? Yeah, I got a wallet. I said, you ever, where is it? Let me show him. I said, you ever look at it? Yeah, man, I look at it all the time. I said, you know what it's made of? Yeah, man. So I said, why don't you look at what it's made of? Made of pork skin. Anyway, that's the 4. I'm not telling anybody to relax. I'm just telling you. You better recognize where you are. And the point I'm trying to make is, we can't fuck around in here. We got to get the hell out of here, period. This place is shit farm. And you can't get clean here. You can't get clean here. You can't get clean in a lake of shit. How much soap you got? You got to get out the damn lake. I can tell you, no, you get clean here. And like I said, the blues. I'm just walking through some of this process real quick. That's 1860s, 1870. We had the blues. Industrial age came in. Right? They didn't need you on the farms no more. They didn't need you in the fields anymore. It wasn't about freeing you, brother. Says I don't go in detail. I talked about the previous presentation. It wasn't about freeing you. It was about control. What they're going to do with you. So Mass was putting you in the plants. They called them plants then. They was too close to plantation. So now they call them factories and stuff. He was putting you in the plants. The white folks said, I can't compete against them, man. Mass only charge you $1 an hour for these guys. And I want $10 an hour. So the man said, yeah, I'm going to go with these niggas, man. I got to pay them $1 an hour. I get 10 for one of you. That was the problem. That's really what it was about. Let me move on, brothers and sisters. So one wanted to stay, one wanted to leave, get the hell away from Massa. Okay? And all was come by war. Each one was come by a great conflict, civil war. I'm just going to go quickly, brothers and sisters. I'm talking about this the past, going looking previous, right? And it caused a civil war. It tells you right here, it says, a common explanation, they say, a common explanation is that the Civil War was fought over the moral issue of slavery. No, in fact, it was the economic slavery and political control of the system that was central to the conflict. This is devil talking. They said it wasn't about just freeing your ass. How to make money of you and exploit you. And slave man was doing it to the detriment of the North. I can't say no, because slavery in the North, New Jersey was a major. In fact, slavery was helping the Confederacy. In New York was Wall Street. That was a major trading system for slaves. It was the money back then with slaves. What I call it Wall Street, the line up against the wall. Harriet Tubman was a slave in New York. So get out of that bullshit. They're trying to make you think, oh, we was good ones. All fucking good bad. It tells you 100%. They're all wicked. Sharecroppers, we ran out, get away from the cities as far as they know anything else. That was get away from Massa, though. They want to stay with Massa. Frederick Douglass. Okay, then the next one. About 50 years later, electronic age. Yeah, come from us again. So we don't want to control the atmosphere. You know any other music form? You know any Chinese music form that's rocking the planet? Any Indian music form? You know any? Any European? They stole from us. That tells you right there. That says we control the atmosphere. No, it comes from us. Our nature is dominating because music is emotional expression of your emotions. That means our emotions dominate the planet. Why is that? We're supposed to be the worst off, right? Uh-oh. Didn't even male live no more. It's Afrocentric, Eurocentric. And then there was the violence that accompanied it. Most of you know about the Red Summer. I talked about this in the previous presentation. The NACP, Eurocentric, Afrocentric, Marcus Garvey. Elijah Muhammad was a lieutenant in Marcus Garvey's army before he met Master Muhammad. Here's Du Bois, here's Marcus Garvey. Here's his people, colored people. Then next, 70s, about 50 years later, computer age, another age. And that's so. Third wave. Okay. Send your jobs to China and India. We talk about that all the time. Integrated separation. Two different ideas, two different perspectives. And violence. All across America. Civil rights movement, all, whatever. Rights. You got two different ideas. Elijah and Martin. He's Martin's people. He's Elijah's people. Stand, brothers and sisters. Now, this is where we are right now. It's about to happen again. I'm not going to a whole other part about energy wave. I'm not getting to. I'm going to get to the main point. Please explain about energy wave. Why it's happening. Get a math. Why it's happening. Approximately 50 years. I'm not going to do it today. I'm going to get to another point. Because my voice is about to take a break. Now AI age. Again, they don't need you again. They don't need for anything anymore. Nothing. Now they got this. Got robots do everything. Now we're showing right here. You say, no, a robot can't produce a baby by itself. What happens is they'll go to the sperm bank and they get an egg from a woman. And you heard test tube babies? That's a test tube. They put it in there. They got every chemicals and everything they need, and the baby will grow. Much more to it than that, but I just want you to see that. They don't need you anymore for anything. They have robots do everything that you need. You go to China, I think someone said in China they got like a robot town. The robots do everything, all the factories and everything else. They don't need you no more. They're trying to figure out what to do with you. And that's what we get to in a minute. But they're closing in on you. Let me give us this tone of it in a minute. Now here we go to my main point. See here? This is a weapon they're using right now. And they're going to use it full blast in a minute. Now, what kind of weapon is this? Okay. They've been studying your brain in vibrations, which music is the most powerful vibrations. You got frequency, wavelength, right? Amplitude. Say alarm, black and proud. High amplitude, right? But I can't sing it, right? But no, you see what I'm saying? Amplitude, right? Wavelength, frequency. Yep. Summertime, yes. That's frequency, right? So good old, what's his name? Chuck, I can't remember his name. Summertime. Anyway. So they study it. So they study your brain here and see how you react to different vibrations, different frequencies, and everything else, how your brain reacts to it. So, because some frequencies, now if you didn't notice it, they already got this bomb. Some music make you feel good, some music make you feel sad. So it manipulates your emotions. So they do is they study what exactly the mathematical vibrations that cause you to be sad, that cause you to be frightened, cause you to be mellow and disconnected, cause you to be sleepy, to be energetic, because it affects your emotions. And so they find which ones so they can get a certain reaction out of you. Right? So they got one that make you fear, right? One that make you play complacent, like you're gonna pay, you're oblivious to everything around you. Just, if you get a good music, some of you probably done this, right? You turn everything else because, man, that's your thing. You don't hear nothing else. Turn everybody out, man, because you just want to hear that. See where I'm coming from? They're doing that right now. That's why you're so complacent. You ain't paying attention to things because of the music. Because they shut all the music down right now. If they shut all the music down right now, black people will come alert. Because most black folks, they hung up in the music, and you know it. Most black folks are really connected to the music, even more than sports and all that kind of stuff. Connected to the music, and they know it. Right? So they got the lyrics in there, but how to get the right freaks and everything to get you, because if you go to war, they can make you free, you run. Make you scared. Just do it right now. That's why people, I tell you, I talk about personification, everything's, I say, we like to see, but it's got to be a cause to it. I keep telling you, every act has, so you don't have to, look how we acted, so why are we acting like that? Why are we responding like that? Because it has to be a cause to it. They're manipulating the music. That's one way to manipulate our emotions. If they can do that, they can control you in battle. They control you, in other words, they can have you walk right into a trap and you won't pay attention to it because you're so, nothing wrong. In other words, you can see the line coming. And they can manipulate that music such that you be feel so good and everything else that you ain't pay attention to it. And the line running right up on your ass. They got very good at it. So good that they can even do that. They can have you stand out in the middle of a highway, and a truck coming right at you, and you sitting there singing. Right? That truck, I don't know, the truck may look like a cartoon or something or whatever, but because the music is so strong, got that motion, that you ain't paying attention to anything else. They already got that. Okay? That's what they're war. That's what they're going to use at you, especially with tribulation. You know what the defense on that is? It's a lot. It makes your heart so firm because you got to control your emotions. That's why you have to have discipline. I tell you, these things no joke. You got enough discipline, then you can, they control your heart. That's what they're going to do. They control your heart. When they control your heart, they got you. Got you. Embalm. Well, they perfected it. But they got to go right now. That's why you acting like they already know. They got you. Because look all the shit that Trump doing. He's closing on you. You ain't paying attention to none of it. He's closing on you. You're not paying attention to any of it. I can point it all out to you, all the stuff. He's closing. Now he's going to put troops right in the cities, right where you are. You got all kinds of stupid excuses for it. You got to build these detention centers. We don't need them anymore. You just check it out. They don't need them anymore. They used to have them because when they catch an immigrant, right, whatever they call them, right, he gets there in court. So they put him there too. They don't need anymore. So why are they still building them? Build big ones. Another one in Florida, a big one in Texas. They closed me. I told you, it says they come as a snare. I told you they're closing on you. And you hear none of these other clowns, or they try to pick up on Sunny or NOI. Oh, when they coming? They coming. No. That's why it says, flee, don't go in your house, because they're already set up. You got to read. If they tell you, flee, you can't go in your house, you can't do anything, just run, you can't get your coat, nothing. That means the trap is already set. Otherwise, you don't have time to say, hey, man, when you see that coming, man, you better grab your clothes, get some money, get whatever. No, they don't tell you that. Say flee immediately because it's already set. They already got it set up. and write music right now, because when you do flee, you hear that music, you might not flee at all. Because that's going to make you feel good. All right, man, that's bullshit, man. Because they get your emotions. See how powerful that weapon is? And they got it. See? Then what you know about it, I'm telling you. Maybe they might try to shut me down now because I'm not supposed to know anything about it either. They already got it. They've perfected it. And so when time comes to flee, if you hear that music and your heart is not firm enough, you ain't going anywhere. If you grab your ass, put you in the oven because there's no food, and you sitting there just popping your fingers. Think that's a joke? You're doing it right now. Popping your fingers right now. And look at these people. Some of you don't have a job or anything, but popping your music. They got you going right now. It's more powerful than that sport. That's just, those are distractions. But this is manipulate your emotions. That's how they're doing it. Don't need the drugs or anything like that there. Just play the right frequency, right? They already got it set up. And now they can AI, they can put on a voice that even that you're familiar with. So how to get through the roadblock. Well, they have Beyonce singing it. She ain't really sing it, but they can use her voice. If they want to even use a voice, they don't need to use a voice. They can. All they got to do is get a right wavelength and everything else, and you go, because that's your emotions is based on wavelength frequency. So now they're going to control that wavelength frequency. And all that, the root of that is your heart. If your heart's firm, you can stop it. They won't get control of it. See what I'm saying, brothers and sisters? I keep revealing stuff to you. There's so much out there you don't know about. You can see it coming. And these clowns, I said so much I can tell you. I can't, without stay here 24 hours, I keep talking. There's a lot more to tell you. But you never heard this before. I said so much I could tell you, but who's listening? And I'm telling you this here because every day now, you can hear that music. Because you can come with a new music, right? What inspired, think about it, what inspired so-called 60s, all that? Motown, black, say it loud, I'm black and proud, everybody start getting it, right? That's affected spirit. But it came from us, and it's, you know, what's the word you use? The word they use. Anyway, it came from us, but it motivates us. That was motivation. And you hear that music? Made you sound like, hey, I'm born power. That music made you sound like when that blues stuff. Then rap came, then you think, oh, now. Black Panther. I'm getting a gun. And there's the music coming out that we're going to have. We're going to inspire you even more. But they're going to have a counter music that's going to take you down. That's why it says, this, right? Preaching all the world, then they will come. The true man has to get there just before they start blowing that music. Just what? And tell you, so you have all of that, you have your attention, tell you stop making those slots right away. Those that do, yes, and some protection. If they don't, they won't get them. You're going to go right to your death. Ooh. Hope you understand, brothers. I'm going to leave it there. I got some more to tell you next time. You ain't know about the seed bomb. You ain't know about this. I know you know anything about this. There's something they keep it hidden. Why they keep it hidden? Because they don't want, because they put it out there. Say if they told they hit that weapon, that might wake you up because that's a music weapon, man. No, because you relate to music, don't you? They got it. And they're going to use it on you. Okay, brothers, I'm going to move on. And I got Move on. Let me see what I got here. She's a graph. See, it was experimenting. See how music affect your brain. Okay, I'm gonna let the fans play out, bro. Says Assalamu alaikum.
We have a lot of that going on, but we're taking care of our farmers. We can't let our farmers not have anybody. These are these people that you can't replace them very easily. People that live in the inner city are not doing that work. They're just not doing that work. And they've tried, we've tried, everybody tried. They don't do it. These people do it naturally. I said, what happens if they get it to a farmer the other day? What happens if they get a bad back? He said, they don't get a bad back, sir, because if they get a bad back, they die. I said, that's interesting, isn't it?
Well, you heard that. Donald Trump is a believer in eugenics. He believes that white people are the superior race. And inner city is code for black people. And he believes black people cannot now work on the farms. I guess they're not good enough for that. So Hispanic people can do it because they have the backs for it. This is what this man is saying out loud in interviews. He is a racist. It's been proven time and time again. The man had Mein Kampf on his bedside table that he would read at night. Enough to let you know where he stands on that. Just more outrageous, racist things from Donald Trump. They want to arrest those who can do the farm work, well, until their backs give out. And then he'll probably ship them to El Salvador or some other country. Just more vile statements from the president and let you know where he stands.
notice when they were arresting people for praying outside of abortion clinics? I mean, I do think the UK, and I say this as, you know, someone who is half English, I think it's like reached, or it is quickly reaching a point where democratic reforms are going to be pretty tough because of the demographic change. And that, of course, the point of importing all these people is to overwhelm the people who live there who disapprove of the program. So you don't have to care what they think because you just bring in new people and their will becomes like all that matters. And so I don't think you're going to fix these things through elections at some point, probably pretty soon. And I just worry a place like the UK, Canada is another, a bunch of different countries in the West are at the point where they're literally revolutionary. They are poised for revolution. And as someone who really doesn't support revolution and hates violence and hates civil war above all, I'm worried about that. I mean, I don't see how this is fixed. Starmer, who's, you know, he's just an instrument of larger forces, but he's a poisonous character, obviously, who's really hurt your country. He's in there for, 4 more years? And so you wonder, like, people are going to start to get really radical in a scary way. Like, I think this is going to happen. And the people in charge don't seem to care.
Well, you're already seeing it. You are seeing the anger beginning to manifest itself. And I completely understand the anger. I don't, like you, I abhor any form of violence. But I do understand the anger when you have, you know, Keir Starmer campaigned on, I'm going to smash the gangs that allow these little boats to come over the channel, delivering tens of thousands of people illegally into the country. And they then get put into these so-called asylum hotels where they're given a pretty good lifestyle, certainly a far better lifestyle than many people really struggling at the moment in the UK. And of course, far from smashing the gangs, it turned out yesterday that he's smashing new records for the number of people coming in illegally on the boats. Of course. It's out of control. And the British public are reaching a point of saying, we are done with people coming in illegally and being treated better in a more comfortable and more luxurious manner than we treat our own people.
Well, the whole point is to humiliate and degrade the indigenous population of the British Isles, the white population. I mean, that's the whole point. And are they really going to do something about it? What would that be exactly?
Public are reaching a point of saying, we are done with people coming in illegally and being treated better in a more comfortable and more luxurious manner than we treat our own people.
Well, the whole point is to humiliate and degrade the indigenous population of the British Isles, the white population. I mean, that's the whole point. And are they really going to do something about it? What would that be exactly? You'd really have to force a lot of people to go back to their countries of origin, millions of people, and you need to do it really soon. And are they actually willing to do that? I don't know, but these are existential questions that we have been browbeat into ignoring for decades. But the question is, like, is Ireland Ireland? If it's majority non-Irish, oh, shut up, they're Irish. No, they're actually not Irish. Same with the UK, same with England, Scotland, Wales. Like, it's all changing so fast. Nothing like this has ever happened in all of history, except when, say, the Mongols swept across the steppe and raped everybody. Like, that was true demographic change on this scale. But even that wasn't as profound as what we're seeing in every white country around the world. I would say the West, but Australia and New Zealand also. So, like, what is that? Now, my brain is not big enough to understand what that is. I have a lot of theories about it, but I don't know if they're true. All I know is what the numbers are, and that's real, and no one feels that he can say it. Everyone's like, oh, well, if that were happening in China or India or Malaysia or Senegal, it doesn't matter. You'd be like, what the hell is that? Like, the population's totally different. Look at graduation. Pick, King's College Law School, and look at the graduation picture for the last 30 years. Who's in it? Just, like, let your eyes tell you the truth for once. Like, this is a total change in population. Is it better? Is it worse? Can't have that conversation. Who's pushing this? Does the population want it? The population clearly doesn't want it. There's no polling that's meaningful on the subject. I mean, there's no referendum on it. You don't get to decide. You've got no voice in it, other than you get to go to jail if you complain loudly enough about it. What is this? I think it's the biggest and darkest thing that has happened in the last 1,000 years, for sure. And I think it's leading somewhere really, really bad. It's not happening by accident, that's obvious, because it's only happening in white countries.
I mean, I think that...
Oh, shut up, white supremacist. Well, in fact, I'm not a white supremacist.
Well,
I'm just noticing what the hell's going on.
I think most people I've spoken to about this in the UK most people have always viewed the UK to be a very tolerant, multicultural, cosmopolitan place to live. That's why so many people want to come here. And people have no problem with that. And it's been very successful for a long period of time.
But it's multicultural? What does that mean?
We have a lot of different people from different countries, different cultures, and it's always worked historically.
So is Sharia law in a multicultural country, is Sharia law? What does that mean?
We have a lot of different people from different countries, different cultures, and it's always worked historically.
So is Sharia law in a multicultural country, is Sharia law every bit as valid as English common?
No, people don't want Sharia law here. No.
A lot of people do. Wait, but hold on. I don't know what you mean. Multiculturalism itself is a lie designed to subvert a society. No, a society has a culture. You can argue about what it is or ought to be. It's not necessarily the same as race. It's connected to race, but it's not the same. People from different races can buy into your culture. That was kind of the beauty of the West. But a multicultural society is not sustainable. There's never been such a thing.
Is
one culture will dominate.
Hang on, Tucker. Surely the United States of America, given the very way it was created, is the epitome of a multicultural society. And my point I was going to make to you was...
It's absolutely not. No. It's a multiracial society.
Yeah.
Though it was not actually a multiracial society up until pretty recent. It was just like 90% white for most of its existence, but whatever. But you did have different peoples, you had different religions. That was all totally fine, but there was one culture, as American culture. There's no such thing as a multicultural society. It's not sustainable. One culture will overwhelm the other. Again, it's not the same as race. It's not identical to race. It's connected, but it's not the same. But multiculturalism is by definition insane. No, it's never happened. It never will happen. One culture will predominate. It will impose its values on everybody else. I mean, the gay thing, which was not a thing 40 years ago, gay was a slur, all of a sudden becomes multiculture there. There's one culture, and it's required. And that's true in every society because a culture is a commonly agreed upon set of values, which in their firmest form are called laws.
But those values can evolve.
This is true everywhere.
But those values can evolve.
Of course they evolve, but there's only one set of them. It's not multicultural. There's one set. You worship one God in every society. Sorry.
But your country's values were established by the United States Constitution, and that's had, 26, 27 amendments, right? So your own values, as determined by the founding fathers, they have evolved and been changed to accommodate changing time.
There's no doubt. Look, I'm not even arguing against change. That's natural. It's natural that people's views evolve.
So the culture changes.
Once you start rejecting the laws of nature, then you're doomed. But let me just say, no, of course, societies change. I get it. All I'm saying, I'm making a very discrete, specific point, which is multiculturalism as an idea is laughably stupid. It has never worked. We never had it anywhere, and it never will exist because it's contrary to human nature. One culture, one way of looking at things, one worldview will predominate, and it will punish all who deviate from it. That is the nature of societies. So if you're telling me it's
determined by the founding fathers, they have evolved and been changed to accommodate changing time.
There's no doubt. Look, I'm not even arguing against change. That's natural. It's natural that people's views evolve.
So those values can evolve.
There's one culture, and it's required. And that's true in every society because a culture is a commonly agreed upon set of values, which in their firmest form are called laws.
But those values can evolve.
This is true everywhere.
But those values can evolve.
Of course they evolve, but there's only one set of them. It's not multicultural. There's one set. You worship one God in every society. Sorry.
But your country's values were established by the United States Constitution, and that's had, 26, 27 amendments, right? So your own values, as determined by the founding fathers, they have evolved and been changed to accommodate changing time.
There's no doubt. Look, I'm not even arguing against change. Natural that people's views evolve.
So the culture changes.
Once you start rejecting the laws of nature, then you're doomed. But let me just say, no, of course, societies change. I get it. All I'm saying, I'm making a very discrete, specific point, which is multiculturalism as an idea is laughably stupid. It has never worked. We never had it anywhere, and it never will exist because it's contrary to human nature. One culture, one way of looking at things, one worldview will predominate, and it will punish all who deviate from it. That is the nature of societies. So if you're telling me it's multicultural, we can all live and like have radically different values, that's just not true. It's never been true. It never will be true. So you're having one culture, one worldview predominate over another and dominate and suppress all dissent. Like that's just what it is, dude.
But
Let's be honest.
I would point to the United States of America and the United Kingdom as two shining examples, albeit not completely without their flaws, but shining examples of places that are deemed by the rest of the world. I certainly feel that about my country.
Well, I certainly think that inherent in Christianity is the notion of tolerance, and that draws from a core Christian concept, which is free will. You cannot force someone to convert. There's never been conversion by the sword in Christianity. People decide to believe in it. And so that is central to the religion, therefore it's been central to the society. Western civilization is Christian civilization. And so we call that tolerance. It's a respect for your inherent God-given right to make a choice about what you believe. Okay, so of course, that's always been a feature. My only point is, a society has a commonly agreed upon set of beliefs, rules, and laws that are the definition of the society itself. That's what a society is. So you can't have competing. You can't have, gay world and Sharia world living co-equally in a society. That does not happen. It will never happen. You have to pick one. Are we the Sharia society? Are we the party time gay rights society? Like, which one? And you can't face that reality. So you're just sort of snoozing along until the inevitable point where you're going to wake up and be like, my values have no bearing on what our society is anymore because we've been invaded by other people with a totally different worldview and they're now in charge. And that day is coming very soon for your country and maybe it'll improve it. I don't think the UK could be a lot worse than it already is. It's this kind of disgusting, sad, self-hating, suicidal island that was once great. It kills me to see it as a half English person, but that day is coming. It will change. You will either decide to be Western or Eastern. That's a choice that we're all going to face. I don't want to face that choice, but it's being foisted upon us by the architect. That's a choice that we're all going to face. Suicidal island that was once great. It kills me to see it as a half English. That day is coming. It will change. You will either decide to be Western or Eastern. That's a choice that we're all going to face. I don't want to face that choice, but it's being foisted upon us by the architects of mass migration. Sorry.
I would question your characterization as my country as a sad, disgusting, what's the rest of it, suicidal nation. I feel none of those things. I feel very happy to be in the United Kingdom, and I feel that there are lots of very happy.
Our system, the Western system, which is very distinct from the Eastern system, very distinct, and it's distinct on this one precise point, we believe and have always believed since this country was founded, since your country became, not a pure monarchy, but even when it was a pure monarchy, the belief in the West, because of Christianity, was the worst thing you can do is punish the innocent. That's the worst thing you can do. That's worse than not punishing the guilty. And we often said that to each other. We no longer say that because there is a pretty concerted effort to blur the meaning of these terms. But I'm not going to be deterred from defining words precisely. Terror is murdering people, killing people, punishing people who committed no crime. Period.
So when the Israeli government says it has repeatedly that even though over 20,000 completely innocent children are believed to have died in their response to what Hamas did on October the 7th at the hands of the IDF, there are many on the pro-Palestinian side who say that Israel is behaving like terrorists too in the way that they have gone about conducting this war. Would you go as far as to say that?
One of the things that I really object to now is this relentless focus on Israel, which, by the way, is a foreign country that I have nothing to do with.
We've done this before. Now, maybe today things are different, and we will end up living in a nation that is sharply divided and may ultimately produce something else. But I'm an American. I love my country. I want to see it stay together. I'm interested in social cohesion, which means that I think our laws, customs, and culture have to be dominant. We can accept some diversity on the edges, but not fundamental division. I think we're in a state of fundamental division. So when I bring up Sharia law, I've sat in many discussions with many people that said, well, I don't care what people look like, but I do care about Sharia law, and I don't want that practiced anywhere near my family or in my country. And that's something you should be aware of. So the notion that someone can come here and say, well, that's part of my religion and we're going to abide by Sharia law, they're going to find serious resistance and opposition in the country.
And as I clarified,
It's because it matters. It's this thing we call societal cohesion. Nations do not exist. It's because it matters. It's because it. We've done this before. Now, maybe today things are different, and we will end up living in a nation that is sharply divided and may ultimately produce something else. But I'm an American. I love my country. I want to see it stay together. I'm interested in social cohesion, which means that I think our laws, customs, and culture have to be dominant. We can accept some diversity on the edges, but not fundamental division. I think we're in a state of fundamental division. So when I bring up Sharia law, I've sat in many discussions with many people that said, well, I don't care what people look like, but I do care about Sharia law, and I don't want that practiced anywhere near my family or in my country. And that's something you should be aware of. So the notion that someone can come here and say, well, that's part of my religion and we're going to abide by Sharia law,
they're going to find serious resistance and opposition in the country.
And as I clarified,
It's because it matters. It's this thing we call societal cohesion. Nations do not exist on their own. They have a core population. Our core population from the very beginning was always at least 80% European and Christian and about 15 to 20% African. But when you start bringing in huge numbers, millions, who are fundamentally different from the core population, you are going to get violence, anger, and conflict. How many times have you heard people say, if you bring people in from the developing world, what do you get? The developing world. And now we've got that. You can't bring in hundreds of thousands of people from Somalia, plant them, of all places, in Minnesota, and then be shocked that, no, they're not Americans. They're not really interested in being Americans. They're foreigners living on American soil. Nobody wants to say that publicly. If you do, oh, well, you're a racist. Well, you know, the world is full of racists. The real war that's going to decide our fate is not going to be fought anywhere overseas. It's going to be fought right here inside the United States. Are we going to survive as a republic, as an English-speaking republic that rests on the foundations of Western civilization? Or are we going to become something else?
One point that is
Constitution was completed in 1789. I think we had 5 million people living in the 13 British colonies. We were 90% white, that is excluding the Africans that were in the country who had been brought here as slaves. But we were 90% white. We were 90% Protestant. And this may be hard for you to believe, but the people that wrote that were trying to protect all of the Protestant sects from a state church on the model of the Church of England and the Roman Catholic Church. That's one of the reasons it was almost 100 years or more after that before people began to finally accept Catholicism as a religion, because it was viewed as political power. My point to you is the Constitution is outdated. The way we are governed is outdated. It has to be re-examined. Nobody in 1789 imagined that anybody would come to the United States except another lunatic, religious fanatical Protestant who hated the Church of England. That's what people feared. That's what they thought of. The Constitution that we have does many good things, but I would argue that the Bill of Rights is ultimately more important. The Bill of Rights is vital and essential, and that needs to be defended. But the Constitution and the way we govern and the things that we're doing, it's out of date. It doesn't fit our needs. And that's back to my comment on something given has no value. You have to earn it. And we haven't made anybody earn their place in this country. I'm talking about people like me that have been here forever. My first ancestor stepped off the boat in 1681. So we've got to get back to some notion of national service, because national service promotes national integration. It addresses some of these problems that you're discussing. Now, I know that you may not want to conform and may not want to be as I am, but I'm an American and nobody questions that. Nobody ever will. If you don't want to stand out and be questioned, then I suggest that you change your appearance, because I don't think it's life or death for you to wear what you wear.
I think this conversation.
It's not fine, because it's leading to violence that could have otherwise been avoided. You see, every great nation, every large nation can always accept some number of people into its ranks that are different from them. It's always been the case. But if you suddenly import millions, which is what's happened here and happened in Europe, then you threaten the core gene pool. What I'm trying to tell you is there's a problem. And we can all pretend that there isn't, and you can insist there isn't, but that's the view. And I think it's incumbent upon all of us to address it truthfully and openly. Stop pretending it's not a problem. It's a problem.
I mean, what's also a problem is white supremacy, and that's.
No, because you're saying you're different, you're going to remain different, and you don't think that if that's not compatible with being an American, then the hell with it. That's what you're going to do.
Well, then what do you make then of, white American people who convert, let's say, to Islam and choose to cover? Are they not American anymore?
Listen, if they want to do that, that's obviously their business. I don't know how many are out there that do that. I think again, it's ill-advised. I think you have to hold the society together. There has to be an agreement on certain things, customs, culture, way of life. And unfortunately, if you're going to practice rigidly a brand of Islam that demands certain things, and this is why I asked right off the bat, do you support Sharia law?
I'm a Muslim. What being a Muslim means is I follow
Stay technical differently, brothers and sisters. A minute.
No, because of you're saying you're different, you're going to remain different, and you don't think that if that's not compatible with being an American, then the hell with it. That's what you're going to do.
Well, then what do you make then of, white American people who convert, let's say, to Islam and choose to cover? Are they not American anymore?
Listen, if they want to do that, that's obviously their business. I don't know how many are out there that do that. I think again, it's ill-advised. I think you have to hold the society together. There has to be an agreement on certain things, customs, culture, way of life. And unfortunately, if you're going to practice rigidly a brand of Islam that demands certain things, and this is why I asked right off the bat, do you support Sharia law?
I'm a Muslim. What being a Muslim means is I follow the guidelines of my religion, which is a peaceful
Does your religion dictate to you Sharia law?
My religion dictates to me to be a good human being, to be good to my neighbors, to
No, because of no.
Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. Are you paying close attention to this? That's the climate. I told you they plan to take you out. These are people that are intimate with the White House. Trump friends. Tucker Carlson, he's a major reporter. He used to be a top dog over at Fox News. They're telling you, we got to keep America white. The bottom line is they come out as clear as they can without spilling the beans. Got to get rid of these niggas. They plan to take you out, brothers and sisters. They plan, Allah has a plan. So we're going to make some moves, right, to get you snapped out of this trance you're in. I told you, you're in a trance right now. Information trance, emotional trance with this music, emotional trance with these lies and this religion. They got you in a trance. But we can really snap you out of it. Master Farah Muhammad's going to do something to snap you out of it. I'm going to be there to give you your mind back so you have the right direction. Pay attention to these and watch what comes after this. This is real, brothers and sisters. And they purposely setting you up so you won't see it coming because they got to do a surprise. Got to come in, say, will come as a snare. You got to do it so you don't see it coming. So let's deal shrewdly with them. They won't see it coming. Because if you see it coming, then you're going to fight back. You're going to tear this country apart. This country is very volatile. I mean, it's very, so we use vulnerable. They call this cities, infrastructure, electronics, all that kind of stuff. If you go wild in this country, you could bring this country down from within. They don't want that. All black folks just go crazy, start tearing stuff up. They'll get rid of you, but the country would be totally a wreck. You wreck this country. They know that. So they got to get you suddenly where you don't see it coming. And you don't see Farrakhan. The reason why Farrakhan totally quiet because he's part of it. They told him shut up. He don't see this coming anyway. Because they don't get rid of him. Wants to get rid of us if it comes to that. He don't know anything anyway. He only knows what they tell him. Or he knows philosophies and carrying on. And these other clowns out there, they don't know anything either. So I'm telling you what's going on, I'm telling you what's really happening. This is what's happening, brothers and sisters. And you listen to what they're saying. These ain't just people who just out there scratching their ass working at Walmart. People are talking Trump all the time. See what Trump says? Say that guy, he first downplayed it. Well, he's saying black folks can't do it. No, that's not what Trump said. He said, we can't get them out in the fields anymore. We've been trying. Of course, yeah. How you been trying to get us out in the field, back in the fields? Trying to get them back in the field, trying to get back in slavery again. We can't get them out there. We're trying. So until we get them out there, we use these. So it says they do it naturally, but we don't do it naturally. That means they know that we ain't that in us. You pay attention. He said they do it naturally. That means we don't do it naturally. That means we have to be forced to do it. And they're trying to force us back. It's hard. Listen to what he's saying. Start analyzing. Start thinking these things through. Move on, brothers and sisters. Assalamu alaikum.
That the most powerful force in today's Republican Party is represented by what Charlie Kirk said. It is this drive to make America a white Christian nation. I got to tell you, this is what they say privately. This is now what they say publicly. This is what Charlie Kirk said publicly.
And Joe, again, one of the reasons I wanted to have you on, because you know these people very, very well. Yeah. You said it yourself. You were one of the strongest voices. You were one of the folks who understood the incendiary language when you were in Congress, when you had your radio show, and how people loved when you did it. And then when you chose to apologize for that and turn away from it, oh my God, they literally have just tried to destroy you because of that.
Yeah, I mean, again, you know the deal, Roland, right? I came out publicly against Trump 7 years. For 7 years, I put up with death threats on a regular basis. Nobody is welcome in that party unless you bow down to what this force is, this MAGA force. And again, look, there have been some people on the left who've celebrated Charlie Kirk's murder. Shame on them, be better people. But this is much worse, Roland, what my former friends are doing on the right, because they are turning this into a holy war. When you say we declare war on the left because of what some 22-year-old young guy did in Utah, and then you declare war on the whole left, that's a lot worse than celebrating Charlie Kirk's murder, because that's dishonest, but that's also inciting hate and violence. And Roland, look, Trump's an idiot. So yeah, Trump says the left, the problem in the country is the left. J.D. Vance is not an idiot. What did J.D. Vance say today, right? He was subbing for Charlie Kirk on his radio show, and he spent the entire show going after the left, going after them, them. Man, Democrats need to wake up, Roland. This is a really serious deal by my former colleagues. The stuff that I hear privately from them right now, Roland, for the last 5 days, I mean, they want to go to war. This is a holy war.
Oh, it absolutely is. And what really jumps out at me on this very thing here, Joe, and I've been saying this, I played the speech 2 weeks ago that mainstream media just ignored, of Missouri Senator Eric Schmidt, who gave a speech at NatCon, Peter Thiel's group, where he literally gave a white nationalist speech, where he said our ancestors fought for this country to be ours and no one else. He was talking about white people. He was basically saying if you are Black, Latino, Asian American, or even Native American, America is not for you. And folks just ignored it. And so people need to understand, again, what they're saying, why they're saying it. And yes, there are many evangelicals, any very conservative white Christians who are pushing this as well. And you nailed it. They want a holy war. They want a race war. They want this to be a white country. It is clear as day.
And Roland, really important point. Charlie Kirk at only 31, the impact he had, because he was one of the most successful pushers of this white Christian nationalistic idea. And so I think that's why all of his defenders are out there so strenuously denying he said anything divisive, because they know if you really go through Charlie Kirk's public record, everything he said about people of color and Black women and Muslims and gays and transgenders, if people took the time to go through all of that, and that was put out for average people to see, they'd be blown away by it. That's why his defenders are like supercharged right now. They don't want that record to be seen.
Today, you mentioned, and I mentioned as well, Vice President J.D. Vance sitting in to do his show. And listen to this man just blatantly lie, Joe. Play it.
I read a story in The Nation magazine about my dear friend, Charlie Kirk. Now, The Nation isn't a fringe blog. It's a well-funded, well-respected magazine whose publishing history goes back to the American Civil War.
If you live in a Florida zip code and have 0 DUIs in the last
George Soros's Open Society Foundation funds this magazine, as does the Ford Foundation and many other wealthy titans of the American progressive movement. The writer accuses Charlie of saying, and I quote, "Black women do not have brain processing power to be taken seriously." But if you go and watch the clip, the very clip she links to, you realize he never said anything like that. He never uttered those words. He made an argument against affirmative action as a policy. He criticized a specific Supreme Court justice as an individual. He never said anything about black women as a group. He made an argument for judging people of all races and backgrounds by their own individual merits.
Bullshit.
Okay, Joe, this is actually what he said.
No, Roland, that's utter bullshit.
In fact, you know, if we would have said 3 weeks ago, Blake, if we would have said that Joy Reid and Michelle Obama and Sheila Jackson Lee and Ketanji Brown Jackson were affirmative action picks, we would have been called the racist. But now they're coming out and they're saying it for us. They're coming out and they're saying, I'm only here because of affirmative action. Yeah, we know. You do not have the brain processing power to otherwise be taken really seriously. You had to go steal a white person's slot to go be taken somewhat seriously. Play cut 52.
But I rise today as a clear recipient of affirmative action, and particularly in higher education. I may have been admitted on affirmative action, both in terms of being a woman and a woman of color.
All right, Joe. He literally said it. Not only that, Vance lied. Soros does not fund the nation. So he sat there and flat out lied.
And Roland, remind me, what's J.D. Vance's job? He's the vice president, and yet he had time today to do a radio show for a former right-wing podcaster. I mean, look what they're not even, Roland, they're not even subtle about it, what this White House is doing. They believe, man, the path to victory is fear, hate, and division. And that's what they're putting out there. That was Charlie Kirk literally going after 4 accomplished black women by saying they didn't have the brain power to get where they got. This is what he believed. And this is what MAGA believes. And that, again, Roland, broken record, that's why Charlie Kirk was so damn successful. Why he had such a big audience.
Yeah, and not only that, you take Nick Fuentes, who's to the right of Charlie Kirk. The night of or the day after Kirk was shot and killed, Fuentes had 200,000 people watching him live. And so what you have this fervor. And so when I listen to Trump and Vance and all these people talk about, how the left, they're indoctrinating. No, and you know this very well, the indoctrination. We've had people who formerly with Turning Point USA put out videos talking about how it was really this cult-like figure, this messianic figure, as they sort of set Kirk up as, and how they want them to follow that. And so that's what's going on here. These people are not trying to have open dialogue. And not only that, Joe, you take Trump, okay? Trump was very clear in saying he was not going to call Governor Tim Walz after those 4 folks were shot in Minnesota. 2 were killed, including former Speaker of the House and her husband. Now today he's saying, he never even heard of Melissa Hortman, and if the governor had asked him, he would have, of course, lowered the flags to have staff. I'm sorry, he's also lying. He knew about her. He knew about the shooting, but he was so arrogant that he said, 2 Democrats, a Democrat Speaker of the House shot and killed. Yeah, I don't care, but lower the flags to have staff with Charlie Kirk. Flies body on Air Force 2. Do a memorial service at the Kennedy Center. Do another one at the Arizona Cardinal Stadium. Give him the Medal of Freedom. And I'm telling you, they're going to give him a state funeral. That's what you're seeing right now. And then you've got Peter Hegseth going after members of the military who said anything negative in the aftermath of his death. You've got Kirk supporters creating a database of people of every social media post. And then even Vance said said it in the podcast, you call their employer. So the so-called free speech people all of a sudden are saying, if you say anything negative about Charlie Kirk after what took place last week, we're going to come after you, come after your job. Oh, I thought they hated cancel culture, Joe.
Yeah. Roland, I remember back in my right-wing radio days, I would come on every day, and there was always some story about some leftist group on a college campus that couldn't handle speech that made them uncomfortable
to say.
Roland, this is scary, and you and I are old enough, man, to remember huge figures in American history who were gunned down, struck down, military leaders, civil rights leaders. We are treating this 31-year-old podcaster, MAGA influencer, like he's Jesus Christ. So I come from the right. Why are my old colleagues and friends on the right doing this, Roland? Because the right wants a religious war. Let's just call it. They want a civil war. They want a holy war. That's why they're putting him up to be some Jesus-like martyr.
Absolutely. I mean, Glenn Beck literally came out and said he was a civil rights leader. Oh, my God, stop it. Stop it. I've seen people say, I've seen a lot of these videos, I'm leaving my church because my pastor did not mention him. This was a Christian warrior. And let's just be clear. You said it, white Christian nationalists. It's slaveholder religion. We heard a lot of this stuff during slavery, during Jim Crow, things along those lines. And this whole idea about, it was about debate. It was about, exchange of ideas. I mean, come on, let's just stop it. And so we see what's going on here. We see the games that are being played. And then what gets me, Joe, is this whole deal of, oh my God, the left, how they indoctrinated him and the accused killer going to a university. The dude was at a university for one semester, Joe. You're trying to tell me that one semester at a mostly white institution in Mormon, Utah, which is not a liberal bastion, somehow just radicalized him? I mean, it really is showing folks the hand they're trying to play.
Yeah, and I think even on top of that, Roland, I think it was like some technical school. So it wasn't some crazy liberal arts school for a semester. Look, cut through all the BS. The Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, has publicly said that America should be a white Christian country. This is what animates my former party. Roland, you know me, right? Tea Party Hellraiser. I don't come from the left. I left the Republican Party when the Republican Party became MAGA. And my fellow Democrats and folks on the left need to understand, now these people are on the right. Now this is MAGA. MAGA now are the snowflakes. MAGA, Roland, they now need their safe spaces. It's funny, but it's not funny. And you're right about J.D. Vance, man. He just flat out lied. I mean, the last 30-year history of political violence in this country, the vast majority of it is right-wing. It always has been. And they put out this lie that it's only on the left. It's not even, Roland, a both sides problem between the left and the right. There is political violence on the left, but the vast majority is on the right, and they know that, and they're lying because they're trying to inflame their base. And Roland, I hear from their base every day, and let me tell you something, they are inflamed. I mean, they are ready to march and grab their you-know-what. This is a scary time.
It is, and folks need to understand what is certainly at stake. Joe Walsh, I appreciate you joining us on the show.
History of the cross, known by their works. What's the history of the cross? 500-year history of the cross. Murder, rape, destruction, deception, enslavement, burning, terrorizing. To maintain a slavery system, you must terrorize the people 24/7. They terrorize people from Africa and America for 400 years. Constant terror, 24/7, rape, murder. In the name of Jesus. This was Christians, not Buddhists, not Hindus. Christians, in the name of Jesus, where they said Jesus cursed black people, they call them Ham, cursed them to be slaves and persecuted forever. In the name of Jesus, raped our women incessantly, pissed in our mouths, made us eat shit. And they took and tried to clean up, not clean it up, but make it look more fashionable, I guess, by calling it chitlins. That's after slavery, of course, after so-called slavery. Because what was endured was not slavery. Look up slavery. Look up slavery. It does include murder, rape, terror. This is a Holocaust. And then now they try to downplay it. Oh, that was 400 years ago. No, it wasn't 400 years ago. I don't care if it was a million years ago. It was 400 years ago. It lasts for 400 years. And it's enduring today. They took everything away from the slaves. Everything. Their name, their culture, their families, their religion, their minds, everything. Fed their children to alligators as alligator bait. And then they talk about what's going on in Gaza when they did 1,000 times worse. What's going over in Gaza now is simply just a miniature version of what they did. What they did was far worse than what's going on in Gaza. Gaza's bad. It's genocide. What they did was far worse and much longer. That's the legacy of Christianity. Murder, rape, disease. They wiped out the native population with genocide and disease. Smallpox blankets, knowing they was full with disease. Herpes, syphilis, gonorrhea from sleep with animals. So-called common cold was not common. It didn't exist here on this side of the world until they brought it here. Murder, rape. When they was raping out women, they had a cross hanging from their neck. And again, they taught black, and this was God's will. God's will. The enslavement of our people. And they continue on even today. That's the legacy of Christianity, the cross. So where's your rap sheet? Every time they arrest one of our people, your rap sheet. What's your rap sheet? How are you going to judge people for murder when you're guilty of murder beyond imagination for hundreds of years? Hundreds of years. Theft. You stole this land and murdered its people. And you crushed the native people here When the Braves would go out hunting, you would come into the camps like cowards and kill the women and smash the children's brains out on the hooves of your horses. This is the legacy of Christianity. That's the legacy of it. The question is, if instead of Columbus coming here, Dracula came here, Beelzebub, Wolfman, Frankenstein, Satan, and they all came instead of Columbus, what could they have done that Columbus and those that followed him did? Satan is the God of this world. That's the God they're serving. They have known him by their works. What are the works of Christianity? What are the works of Christianity? Where's the works of Christianity? Evil, deception, mischief, bloodshedding. It goes on today. And what's going on in Gaza, just reflection and microcosm of what was done here in America for hundreds of years. Raped out women incessantly. They would even rape while they was out in the fields picking cotton. They would jump off their horse and tell them to bend over and rape them. And tell them to keep picking cotton while they was doing it. This is the kind of stuff that they would do. Make one slave defecate and slave and slave in the mouth of another slave, and then bound it up so they couldn't spit it out for 7 days. That's a legacy of slavery. You did it all in the name of Jesus. There's a legacy of slavery. Legacy of slavery. 40 years plus. Legacy of Christianity. Legacy of the cross. That's the legacy. That's the true legacy. So whose works are those? Who are you serving? Who are you serving? The legacy of the cross. Where's your rap sheet, America? Gog? Where's your rap sheet, Magog? Britain? Where's your mayship? Where's your rap sheet? Antichrist, false Israel? What's your rap sheet? Then they colonized Africa. They're stealing for ripping off everyone. That's the legacy of Christianity. It's been ruling for over 500 years. And now, the threat of nuclear war to finish off everything. That's a legacy of Christianity in the name of your Jesus.
you ain't talking about us packing our bags and going westward or going out there in the land. Ain't no cities, no towns, no infrastructure out there. Surely you ain't talking about that, are you? No. We ain't going back to Africa. No. This is your land. Our sweat, our tears, our blood has earned us the right to the land. What God wants you to do is come out of their ways. Come out of their pagan holidays where you should be honoring Jesus. You are out here buying bunny rabbits and inviting your children to paint eggs for some Easter hunt. Come out of her. Get the Santa Claus out of your house and a tree that is the way of the pagans. Come out of her. St. Valentine's Day. What the heck is that? Excuse me. Come out of her name. Come out of her religion. Come out of her culture. Come out of her way of life. Come out of her educational system.
Back to their people. When they was put off on the shores of North America. And this ship, Jesus, that John Hawkins brought our best hero. They stood and stared at it disappearing in the whole rhythm, crying, wanting to return. With their hands stretched out towards that ship and tied in chains themselves bound together. And when they was put off on this memorable shows, they stood there staring at that ship that brought them to a strange land and a strange people who could not speak either one's language. Now they have to live in a strange country and a strange people who had proven to them every mile from their native land that they were going to be the worst enemies that they ever lived with. They were going to be the people that would destroy them. They soon discovered that on this ship that they were being brought here on. I don't know how we should say anything in the name of Jesus of good for us when this ship was named Jesus. This is how that we have always been deceived by the white man, trying to use Jesus, the name Jesus, to lull us off in a mental sleep, thinking that we are on our way to heaven. This is terrible. My beloved brothers and sisters, this is very hard for us to even to accept today. Imagine our parents standing crying to return to their native land and people, and you here today crying to stay with the very enemy that brought our fathers in subjection to their will. You and I, turning your face from your native land and turning it back towards our own prison house and our own enemies who have destroyed us and seeks to further destroy us. How do you feel? How do you feel? Not wanting to return to your people. They are trying to make love with the very people that destroyed you and your parents. How do you feel acting such? And even today, they are beating and shooting you down throughout the country. There is no justice here for you and me. Why should not you want to be separated and be returned to your own? I ask you that question. Think over your parents on the eastern shore of North America, crying and praying to God to be returned to their own 400 years ago. How would they like, or you like to see them rise up in the judgment condemning you for being such fools as now want to live in the land that absolutely enslaved them and killed them and beat them for 300 long years here. They would condemn you as being fools for not wanting to be separated and go to your own, build up a nation for yourself after the white man say you are free. Remember that.
make it. Surely you ain't talking about us packing our bags and going westward or going out there in the land. Ain't no cities, no towns, no infrastructure out there. Surely you ain't talking about that, are you? No. We ain't going back to Africa. No. This is your land. Our sweat, our tears, our blood has earned us the right to the land. What God wants you to do is come out of their ways. Come out of their pagan holidays where you should be honoring Jesus. You are out here buying bunny rabbits and inviting your children to paint eggs for some Easter hunt. Come out of her. Get the Santa Claus out of your house and a tree that is the way of the pagans. Come out of her. St. Valentine's Day. What the heck is that? Excuse me. Come out of her name. Come out of her religion. Come out of her culture. Come out of her way of life. Come out of her educational system.
Put back to their people. When they was put off on the shores of North America. And this ship, Jesus, that John Hawkins brought our best hero. They stood and stared at it disappearing in the horizon, crying, watching to return, with their hands stretched out towards that ship, and tied in chains themselves bound together. And when they was put off on this memorable shows, they stood there staring at that ship that brought them to a strange land and a strange people who could not speak either one's language. Now they have to live in a strange country and a strange people who had proven to them every mile from their native land that they were going to be the worst enemies that they ever lived with. They were going to be the people that would destroy them. They soon discovered that on this ship that they were being brought here on. I don't know how we should say anything in the name of Jesus of good for us when this ship was named Jesus. This is how that we have always been deceived by the white man, trying to use Jesus, the name Jesus, to lull us off in a mental sleep, thinking that we are on our way to heaven. This is terrible. My beloved brothers and sisters, this is very hard for us to even to accept today. Imagine our parents standing crying to return to their native land and people, and you here today crying to stay with the very enemy that brought our fathers in subjection to their will, you are now turning your face from your own native land and turning it back towards our own prison house and our own enemies who have destroyed us and seeks to further destroy us. How do you feel? How do you feel? Not wanting to return to your people. They are trying to make love with the very people that destroyed you and your parents. How do you feel acting such? And even today, they are beating and shooting you down throughout the country. There is no justice here for you and me. Why should not you want to be separated and be returned to your own? I ask you that question. Think over your parents on the eastern shore of North America, crying and praying to God to be returned to their own 400 years ago. How would they like, or you like to see them rise up in the judgment condemning you for being such fools as now want to live in the land that absolutely enslaved them and killed them and beat them for 300 long years here. They would condemn you as being fools for not wanting to be separated and go to your own, build up a nation for yourself after the white man said you were free. Remember that.
Assalamu alaikum, sisters and brothers. Sulaiman Rahim here, Messenger of the Covenant. Okay, brothers and sisters, it's been a year now, and we're finally home after 40 years in Arabia. I'm reporting to you from Arabia. Finally home after 40 years. Right? And so we've been here a year now. And there was an agreement made. A former slave master, he said, we had a choice. Stay here or leave. Right? So we chose our inheritance, Arabia. So we left. And half the original people decided they wanted to give up their inheritance and trade it for a place in America in reconciliation with their former slave master. That's their choice. They chose, said, we don't want to go over to Arabia. We don't go to where it's sand and all that stuff. We want to stay here in America. We've been here all our lives, been here 40 years, born here, right? And you know, we can make peace with our slave master. Okay, so they decided to stay. And so after a year, right, we get reports of how things are going over there. And it doesn't sound too good. How things are going over in America with their reparations. Because they was given, they got 6 states, I believe. Yeah, see? Yeah. Yeah, they got those 6 states right there. That's what Farrakhan told them. You know, they was listening to Farrakhan. Farrakhan promised them, you know, they stay there, 6 states, right? Had their own land. And they can make reconciliation with the former slave master. They're not devils. They're not devils. They're human beings. They just had a rough, you know, they were just, you know, did some things wrong, but now they, you know, they're gonna make amends and make reparations. So 6 states, and in addition to that, they gave everybody $1 million. Everybody stayed $1 million. Okay? Say, thank you, Farrakhan. They're so happy. Thank you, Farrakhan. Thank you, Farrakhan. Man, you got 6 states. That's what you promised us. We got 6 states. They're thanking you. Thank you, Farrakhan. Right? And you know, I mean, this was a year ago. They got the 6 states. Thank you, Farrakhan. Right? Everybody got $1 million. Everybody $1 million. And they're rejoicing. Oh man, they're so happy. Hey, we came, man. We made it. We got America, man. We got reconciliation for a master. We got 6 states. Everybody got $1 million. We're all rich. That was a year ago when we left. So we're in Arabia. They're still back there in America. And now we're getting reports a year later. This was the way it was a year ago, man. They were so happy. They were so happy. Right? And now we get reports of what's going on right now. Let's see. Oops, it says a power failure. Great power failure in those 6 states. Power failure. And it's just those 6 states. Right? So, and now they have big and massive. They came asking to turn the power. Well, why can't they do it? Oh, Farrakhan didn't train anybody. He was telling you about 6 states, he never prepared you for them. So nobody knows how to do it. How to turn the power grid back on. So now he's begging, man, master, can you come and turn this thing back on for us? I mean, you would think that if he told them 6 states and promised them that he would have prepared them for it, right? Their schools and education, whatever they needed for that. But now, I guess they didn't, because they said over there now he's begging the former master to come and turn the power back on. And then what? I mean, this is all that's happening now. I mean, I'm getting these imports in now. A year later, it's like they're coming in every hour. Power grid failure, right? Then say, oops, crop failure. All of a sudden, there's no. They looked at the farmers when they done the farmers said, oh. So then they asked master, what's happening here? How come you know? Right? Our crop. They found that the land they gave them wasn't that fertile. A year later, nothing's growing. Crop failure. And now they master, what's happening here? Right? And then, I mean, all these things, every hour that's coming in, right? And then they look, and they had, a year ago, they had plenty of food on the shelves, right? And now, they look there now, and all the food's gone. It's gone. And she said, what am I going to do here? Food's gone. The house is empty. So he said, Master, we need some food. Well, how come you can't put your own food? I mean, you want your own country. You got your own states. That's your country. Then you run it. What are you calling us for? Right? So they've been praying. And then, oops, no fuel. There's massive no fuel there. Well, you got to buy your fuel. You got to produce your own fuel. What you calling us for? You got your own 6 states now. What you calling us for? Go and get some fuel. You got money, right? You got your own states. So you got to get your own. What you calling us for? You said you wanted your own, so now you got it. And you got your reparations, so we don't owe you anything anymore. We don't owe you anything anymore, so what you calling us for? We don't owe you anything. You said you agreed to 6 states and $1 million per person. You took that instead of your inheritance, what you call the Abrahamic Covenant, Arabia. Your brothers and sisters, they left, they took that was offered to them, they took it. And you said, no, I want this instead. So now you got it. So what you calling us for? Oh, no communications. Oh, man. No communications, right? No medical facilities. So what's going on, Master? Wait a minute, hold on. What you calling us for? That's yours. You got to handle that stuff. You want us to handle it for you? You want independence, now you have it. I mean, wow, this stuff was coming every hour, man. Instead of like a year, they was celebrating. And now they crying and begging the master, okay, we got all these problems here. I said, wait a minute, that's yours. What comes about your problems? You have to work those out. Right? No transportation, I mean, no planes, no nowhere. We don't know about fly the planes and drive the trucks and the boats and stuff and to go and get this stuff. Well, what you done that for? You wanted this, you got it. So go ahead and get to train your own pilots, build your own planes, build your own boats and right? You see what I'm saying? Transportation, build your own trucks. What you calling for? Yeah, Master, we see this. You said you wanted 6 states, you got it, and $1 million per person. That was your reparations. So then if you didn't pay people to take care of this, how's that our problem? You're independent now. You're really free now. Oops, no fuel, the gas station's empty. I can't drive, eh? And no gas. Man, wow. All this stuff happened like for a year. They thought that everything was great, and all of a sudden everything ran out. So I guess what happened? Everything was there when they got it, and then it ran out. They had to, for them to replace the fuel, to get the farms going. So they was left with that stuff. The factory was full. I mean, warehouses full. Then you had to keep They thought that was just going. I guess they thought it was just going to be there, just by itself. They didn't prepare for it. See, and they ain't trained any engineers and scientists and architects and stuff. They you know, business. They didn't train anybody. So Farrakhan, he told you he's going to get this for you, but he didn't prepare you for it. He didn't get anybody to handle this stuff. So what was that all about? So now he asked the master, hey, don't call on me. You was here, you had it when you was here with me. You said you want independence, you wanted reparations, so you gave it to you. Well, call on your brothers over there. They left, they handled their own business. You said you want to stay here. Right? See? Don't have any professionals or technicians, scientists, doctors, none of that. See? I mean, that's what, you know, because, I mean, if you're going to set reparation, you should be preparing for that, right? So if he was telling you about reparation, you should be preparing for it. If he thought, if he said, God said that's where he's going to get you, so if God told him he's going to get that for you, then he should, like when God told Noah there was a flood coming, to only build an ark, so he started building an ark. And so you should start preparing for the 6 states and the reparations, but apparently you didn't. And so now, it does say, look, hold it. We want total separation. I mean, look, we don't want you to call us no more. We don't want you to call us no more. Because you're wearing us. You want your own country. You got your own land. Right? You got money, me and all, so all this stuff, right? And so now we got to protect your money and everything too? No, you have to create your own money. You have to do all these things, your own wealth, not ours. Right? So we're going to cut you off from that too. That's all economics. So they go and tell it. They tell all the people, and you know, all the white folks, right? Because all the black folks, now all the black folks is either in Arabia or in those 6 states. That's the solution. You had to be one way or the other. There couldn't be no integration, all that kind of stuff. That's the deal. You just said one or the other. So all the black folks are there, ain't no integration, all that kind of stuff, right? Black folks are there, one or the other, so they're there. So they said, okay, right? So they just say, we're going to take our money because we don't know what y'all doing over there. You have your own money, you have your own wealth. So what they do is they tell all the white folks, say, protect your money, right? Transfer your money into gold. Transfer all your dollars into gold. Right? Now remember, they gave everybody $1 million a piece. So everybody got $1 million a piece, right? And so they transfer it to gold. And then what happens is that what they do is they start just printing money. White folks just start printing money. You understand what that means? That's inflation. Right? Because if you got $1 million of gold, a million ounces of gold, say a million ounces of gold, understand this, and you got 1 million certificates, then you say each certificate is worth 1 ounce. If you got 1 million ounces, each certificate is worth 1 ounce. Understand that? If you got 1 million ounces of gold and you got 1 million certificates, each one of those certificates is worth 1 million. You know, if you want to say trade with the certificates, each one of the certificates is worth 1 ounce of gold. Right? But if you take and print, you say you got 1 million ounces of gold and you got 1 million certificates, each one. But say you print twice as many certificates, you got 2 million. Well, then each certificate is only worth 50 cents now, because you got to connect that to the gold. Well, you print 4 times, then each one is worth a quarter. So the more you print, the less they worth, because those certificates have to equal what the gold is. You understand? So the more you print money, the less, right? The less they're worth. So if you print twice as much money, right, there's less gold. You understand? So $1 is worth 1 ounce of gold, which that's right. Then if you print double that amount of dollars, then each one's worth half an ounce. You understand? That's what printing money without increasing their wealth does. That's inflation. So what happens is they keep printing. They get down to where $100 is worth a penny. But see, that doesn't affect their people. They told to protect their money because they transfer their money to gold. So gold still has its value. It's just the dollars don't. It still got the same amount of gold. But the dollars, they get down to a penny. So you can't buy it. You had $1 million, now your $1 million worth of $5. That's all it's worth. $1 million. Hardly worth anything. Hey, that's our money. You gotta have your own money, you control your own wealth. You can't keep coming at us what you're doing. And you think they wouldn't do that? Yeah, you've been a Gaza lately? You see what happened to the trees they made with the so-called natives? Kept telling me you had a forked tongue because they kept making trees with them, then they broke the trees. And took their land and genocide and everything else. But no, they wouldn't do that to you. See? Because now you have, your money's worth nothing. They haven't lost anything. Because once that money's worthless, it's no good, right? Then you bury it up, throw it away, it's worth nothing. The people still got gold. And even if they take it, hold on to money, hope to increase again, they're using a different certificate, using another form of money. So it's still worth nothing. That $1 million you had, you was so happy with it now, it's probably worth maybe $1. So you can't buy anything with $1. Plus the economy's collapsed because everything is failing, and you don't know how to repair it. You don't know how to build communications. You don't know how to do any of this stuff. You don't know how to engineer, build a house. You don't know how to do anything because Farrakhan didn't. Right? He didn't prepare you. He told you he'll give you 6 days. He told you, listen to me, right? So now you're broke, and your economy is gone. You have no food, no electricity, no power, anything, right? It's not their fault. They gave you what you asked for. You still had your inheritance for that. And then they closed the border. Because you're going to try to get back into America now. We want to come back in, Master. No, we don't want you back in here. We sorry, we want to come in. No. That's what you chose. You stay there. They closed the border, so you can't get back in here. You can't get back in America, into what you can call your land now. Swaziland or something? Farrakhan. Maybe call it Traveland. Farrakhan. Named after Farrakhan. Right? So they close the borders, you can't. Because now you're hungry and everything else, your money's worthless. Oh God, come back, Master, I'll come back work for you, I'll work for Popeyes, I'll do anything you want. No, remember, now blacks, either they over in Arabia or they in that land. There are no blacks in America, in places, just in that land, that you 6 states. And now you're starving, you ain't got no, your money's worthless, nothing works, and they close the border. Right? And then you see Master, he on the phone, you talking to the guy that you kept treating, help you. Hey, we finally got rid of them niggas. Finally got rid of them. Finally got rid of them. See on the phone. Yeah, it worked. We sold them no reparations. We sold them that used car. It turned the miles back and everything else, and they bought it. See? They could have had a BMW. They could have had a Lamborghini. They sold it for a BMW that looked good. Damn thing didn't work. And now they're starving, living in tents. Praying. So what? Then what next? What we gonna do, Farrakhan? What we gonna do, Farrakhan? You told us to take reparations, so we did. But they gave us everything we asked for. What we gonna do, Farrakhan? What we gonna do? Pray, 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 pray. That's his answer. Pray, pray, pray. That's your reparations. Like Elijah Muhammad said, he had a big picture. We leaving, and blacks staying on the shore, the ones stay behind, and they was whooping their ass. Right? Because they thought you think they want to give you some land and take care of you? You think they want to do that? And go bankrupt, give everybody $1 million? You know how much that is? If it's 17 million, that's 17 million times 17 million times a million is like $17 trillion, I think, something like that there. Then they're going to do all that for you. They want to get rid of you. So now they have succeeded. Because they closed the border. What you going to do? You want to fight to come out? They closed the border. They got the military around there. They finally got rid of you. No more black problem, no more Negro problem anymore. One group's out of here, another group that's here. They're gone, and our hands are clean. We gave them what they wanted. Well, anything. Okay. God honors contracts. Remember, he honored the contract with Jacob. Esau sold his birthright for a bowl of soup to Jacob, when it was Esau's inheritance, and God honored it. Okay, Jacob, it's yours. You're the one. And that's the deal. Because he ain't your friend. Pharaoh ain't your friend. Pray, pray, pray. That's the answer. And this homeland you was promised, you rejected it. So now you got what you asked for. So if they gave you reparations today or tomorrow, how would that scenario not play out like that? Well, they say, okay, you got it. Tell me how the scenario wouldn't play out like that. And tell me why they wouldn't do it. They love you so much, they're going to say, okay, we're going to take care of them. I mean, why should they go out their way to take care of you when you was right here? You was working at Popeyes and living in the get-up on Section 8, all that stuff right here where they... Because they're trying to get rid of that stuff right now. Trump's trying to get rid of all that stuff right now. Because they're closing on you don't realize it. Anyway, that's just, that's what's happening over in America. Wow. Boys come here. Disaster over there. And, I just got a call. Oh, wait, hold on. Really? You serious? Our ambassador just got a call from I don't know what they call them. They call it Conland or something. I forgot what it's some name to call it right there. That 6th day. They begged us to come and help. Can they come over here? Can we come and get them? Really? Can we come and get them and bring them? Oh no. Now he went and asked Master Farad Muhammad, right? He said, no, hell no. We ain't going to get them. And I agree with that. Yeah, the Master said he said, let's call him, and he passed the word to Master Farad Muhammad. Master Muhammad said, send him back. Master, no, we can't come and get you. You chose, you made your choice, live with it. Or die, whatever the situation is. Wow. I can't believe that. They actually, right, sent a message over. I don't know how they did. I don't have any communication with them. Somehow they got the information over to them. Said, would we please come and get them? Nope. Said, no, tell them no. And don't waste time communicating with us anymore. You got your land, you got your reparations, you got your money, you got Farrakhan as your leader. Yeah, tell him, talk to him, let him straighten out for you. He didn't want to sell you the idea. He was a salesman. So you on that idea of reparations. We told you. Right? Suleiman, right? He was the messenger to you, telling you, look, man, let's go home. You said no. You chose not to. Okay, bro, that's a sad story. But I guess that's it. Is that it? Well, they might get more reports on Okay, he says that was Master Farad Muhammad's final decision, and I think they closed communications off from there. So, like I said, brothers and sisters, we got those rides that came in. All that came in today, man. Came in fast. After a whole year. Total collapse. Now they're begging it. Somebody help them. We can't do it. Maybe Master help you. We won't do it. Assalamu alaikum. Update, brothers and sisters, got another late report in that they said, well, if you want to come and get us, well, we at least send them some food. They begged, said, please send them some food. Master Muhammad said, we got to send them a damn thing, nothing, zero. He said, please just send some food. No, I just got that in. He says, if you can't come and get us, please send us some food. He says, no. He refused. That's the report. I just got the information from the ambassador. He said, they sent that, and he's read to me. He says, no. He said, please, just please send us some food. He said, no way. You made your choice, case closed. Okay, just got that in, brothers and sisters. Assalamu alaikum.